I want to take you way back to October 16th, 2014. Donald J. Trump tweeted, and yes, in 2014 it was called tweeting on Twitter, the app that he later got banned from. And he tweeted, quote, "President Obama has a personal responsibility to visit and embrace all people in the U.S. who contract Ebola." It's 12 years ago. Time is a flat circle. The man is older, the disease is back, and not only is he not visiting and embracing any of the now confirmed American Ebola patients, he has, while he's been in office, done the following things: dismantled USAID, the U.S. Agency for International Development. The thing that the last time that there was an Ebola outbreak had staff in the DRC, the Democratic Republic of Congo, the people who flag outbreaks, the people who transported lab samples on planes funded by U.S. humanitarian aid. These are the people who trained healthcare workers. And their funding, USAID, is gone, dismantled last year by executive order. Donald Trump has also gutted the CDC, the Centers for Disease Control, which historically had 130 staff in Uganda and Congo and labs back in the U.S. supporting outbreak responses. All of that completely cut. Then we withdrew from the World Health Organization, the WHO, the literal international body that coordinates outbreak response across borders, shares data. We quit it in January with Donald Trump's Sharpie signature. We're 0 for 3 there. Dr. Tom Frieden, the former CDC director, the man who ran CDC during that 2014 outbreak, called this exact set of decisions, quote, 1, 2, 3 punch to the global health architecture. And that was from this past Wednesday.
But what you do have now, Jeremy, is really a 1, 2, 3 punch to the global health architecture. One, as you say, the U.S. has stopped paying dues to the World Health Organization. We also abruptly removed dozens of professionals who were working side by side with WHO staff to improve the ability of that organization to respond effectively.
So where are we now? Well, the World Health Organization, that we are not a part of, has declared the outbreak in the Democratic Republic of Congo and Uganda a global public health emergency. Already 80 dead, 336 suspected cases, and the CDC has confirmed, quote, a number of Americans are infected. We had a flight headed to Detroit that had to be diverted because of an Ebola scare. And the third largest Ebola outbreak in history is happening right now. And the country that historically led the global response is sitting this one out. And the funding numbers here are obscene. According to Stat News, foreign aid to the DRC was $1.2 billion in fiscal year 2024 from the U.S. In the first 3 months of fiscal year 2026, the period we are right now, the total spent was $67 million. From $1.2 billion to $67 million, an 80% collapse. And Robert Redfield, this is the former Trump CDC director, the guy that Trump himself appointed in his first term, went on CNN and said, "I suspect this is going to become a pandemic." And Donald Trump, the man in 2014, the man who held Barack Obama responsible for the Ebola outbreak, saying he had a personal responsibility to visit and embrace Ebola patients, while his CDC has no permanent head, his FDA has no permanent head, his Surgeon General position is empty, and we are flying into Ebola exposure with no pilot. Thank you, Donald Trump. Look, public health is not supposed to be partisan, and then COVID happened. But here's the deal. Ebola doesn't care who you voted for. Instead, we let DOGE and Elon Musk cancel the contracts. We let Donald Trump and Marco Rubio quit the WHO. We let Robert F. Kennedy Jr. gut the CDC and the FDA, and now an outbreak is moving across 2 countries. Americans are infected, and the only thing standing between us and a much worse situation is the goodwill of countries that we have spent the last 2 years giving the middle finger to. And while all this is going on, Donald Trump's golfing, RFK Jr.'s selling his raw milk, and the people who used to do this work, the epidemiologists at the USAID and the CDC field staff, The WHO coordinators, they're all home. Some of them may have gotten severance, most of them didn't. They watched their departments dismantled in real time. And they tried to tell us. They tried to tell us what was happening. And we as a country didn't listen. So, yeah, you look back at that 2014 tweet, and it has aged like fine raw milk. And now 2026 is aging like Ebola. Subscribe to the Ring of Fire. We are going to be covering this outbreak and any other health scare that we've got, because if the WHO is right and the former CDC directors are right, this story is going to get a lot worse before it gets better. And somebody has got to keep this in front of your eyeballs, because this administration, they're not going to say a damn word about it.